ways that may push them to hide part of themselves. So, in order to look at the positive side and fight against those doubts, I'm going to ask you to say 3 things you love about yourself. Turn to someone near you and list them out loud. Raise your hand if this was hard for you. Me too. Hello, I am Margo, and I strive to be myself. Yet, every day, I question if my flaws and challenges will make me too different, too bossy, too honest, too outspoken. Asking everyone to be themselves is harder than it seems, especially when we all secretly worry that being ourselves isn't good enough. My mom has always taught me to be proud of who I am. One of her favorite authors, Isabel Allende, said, "Unless you are tested, how do you know who you are?" Each of us has been through an experience that shapes our lives. It may teach you to protect your heart or speak up for yourself, because these experiences help us find who we truly are. These lived experiences may also show you some of your flaws. When you are tested, it will show you a different side of yourself. This will teach you to grow and learn to be your own kind of person. I've gone through difficult experiences as well. This included when my mother got leukemia, which is a type of cancer. During that time, I was in constant fear that I wouldn't see her again. To this day, I still worry that she will get sick again, and that today will be the last time I get to hug her. When my mom first got sick, my parents also got a divorce, which made me feel really alone. Through their difficult separation, my relationship with my father also suffered. I felt like my world was crashing down around me. It seemed like I was in my own personal war, but through this experience is how I got my soldier's heart. A soldier's heart is the bravery that everyone can have. It is the motivation to get up in the morning and to go through your life even when it is hard, and the mentality one gets after going through a difficult experience that has shaped them. None of our lives are perfect, but it is perfect to be yourself. We learn to be our own perfect type of soldier because we are all going through our own battles. Some may be bigger and some may seem easy, but those are the times that shape us into the people we are. I thought going through these challenges in my life would become my identity. I was scared that people were going to be afraid of me because they didn't understand, and that I was going to be the girl that everyone pitied but was afraid to get close to, which made me feel like I was so different that I needed to change. So I tried to be more like the people I met. I started wearing popular clothing and said I liked shows I really didn't enjoy. I also kept quiet when people were gossiping about others because I was afraid to stand out, all because I was so scared of not having any friends. But hiding my real personality made me even more uncomfortable in my own skin. Then, I remembered the times when I was little and I didn't care if I wore a tutu or cape to school. I was willing to be real and loved being myself. I realized that as I got older, I judged myself more critically, but I wanted to go back to that childhood feeling of self-acceptance. I still have trouble fully accepting myself. Some days it's hard. Some days you just can't look at the positive or be yourself fearlessly. It might seem easy to fit in or go with what everyone else thinks and do what everyone else does, like wearing blue if you don't like the color. I get it. I've done that. Because wanting to fit in is a part of our desire to be part of a group. But it is also really important to know who you are in order to know who you want to be. Although I am proud of my soldier's heart, sometimes I worry I'm covered in too much armor, or I don't belong in this path. But we are all on this world together, and we need to create space for each other. The song that was read by Cooper acknowledges that God takes time to create all of us, from our first breath to the challenges we face later in life. Every part of us is perfect, and even our weaknesses are worth our attention. God is trying to make each of us into the best version of ourselves, and sending us through challenges to help push us to know who we are. It also shows that God has created all of us, and it is not fair for us to judge each other. Through a lot of hard work and learning new skills, now every day I try to accept a different part of myself. Today it might be my unruly hair. Tomorrow it might be my self-deprecating humor. I'm also trying to accept the challenges I have been through. So accepting myself will take time, but I'm willing to persevere because as we learned from the song, God made us all and we deserve love and compassion. Believing in ourselves and knowing who we are will help us get through the hardest times. Even when we are second-guessed by others, or challenged by circumstance, we will know the truth in ourselves. When someone is confident in themselves, it makes it easier for others to trust them, thus creating a world where everyone can feel love and acceptance. But to achieve this, everyone also has to be willing to accept each other. So I challenge everyone to be yourselves, your real, authentic, tutu-wearing selves. For at least a day, just try to figure out who you are without thinking of which group you want to be in. We need to be non-judgmental of each other, to welcome and invite each person as they really are, because we are all soldiers fighting our own battles. So be your own soldier, and be willing to fight for yourself and others. This is a battle that is not fought with violence, but with the love and acceptance of ourselves and those in our community. I know how hard it can be, but it's worth a shot. Thank you.